I'm getting used to my new intro sequence by now. Hope you like it. Anyhow, as you can see, I'm back with another review, and this time it's an 8-inch digital frame, the X08E. I assume that's a 0, could be an O, no real way to tell. And it's from our new friends at NYX. And this is basically one of these digital frames where you can upload or possibly put in a card with all kinds of photos that you've put that you want to display randomly to people when they come in to your house for whatever reason. Maybe they're a guest, maybe they're a burglar, who knows. But you can put all of your embarrassing photos on here and have them play endlessly, because it's so much better to have something like this chewing up electricity on a day-by-day basis instead of just printing them out and put them in a photo album that anybody can look at without getting an electricity bill. Yeah. Well, that's just me being a bit pedantic, I suppose. But let's open the bad boy up. Well, let's take a look at bits and pieces on the side here. Various little things here. So it tells you it's an ultra thin design. It's an 8-inch display. It's got a hue motion sensor that plays photos and 720p HD videos. I can't really imagine any reason you'd want to play videos in this, because it might not necessarily have any kind of sound system built in, but we'll see in a minute or so. Okay, so 8-inch digital display. You can see a girl. I'm assuming it's a girl because of the hairstyle. It might be a man with a man bun lounging on a sofa next to an IKEA bookcase type thing. And then just more general information. Okay, this hue motion turns the frame on when you enter the room and off when you leave. That sounds interesting. Plug and play simplicity. View all your photos and videos from your ST/SDHC card. That's good. And then various information about the text specs. And once we've opened it up, the instruction manual and a bit more protective stuff. We've got whatever these are. Stuff to share your experience, reward points. Reward points? And they smell very new. Yeah, that brand new smell that you get from something that's just literally, you know, for the first time or so. And same with all of it. Of course, that does tend to fade quite quickly. Alright, let's get this out of the box. Oh my god, it is very thin. Got the little thingamajig there, the little base unit. Because we're all about the base, no photos. Yeah, I've told that joke before. Uh-oh. Right, we've got a sticker right in the middle. Please peel protective screen sticker and follow the instructions in the user manual to set up your NIX digital frame. Note, peeling this sticker will not avoid your warranty. Well, that's a relief. I thought if I left it on, it would probably invalidate things or something like that. I mean, you can't really see your pictures if you've got a great big sticker in the way. Oh, that's nice. That whole thing just peels off quite nicely. So, yeah, you can do with that as you like. That's actually quite nice touch there. That works quite well. We'll just put that to one side for the time being and just take a look at the screen properly. I'm going to assume that this little nub here must be the sensor, although that could be the sensor as well. And then on the back we've got some sort of selection. We've got the power button there. Looks like a menu option. Little D-pad, which feels nice and loud. That must be either a speaker system or possibly some sort of air vent, although I can't imagine this really needing an air vent. Model number, input, batch, made in China, and all the usual guff. Not recyclable apparently. Oh well. SD card slot goes there. Headphone speakers go there. Electrics go in there, and of course a USB port. That's nice. I could probably hook this up to a computer then and just pull images off that way. Although I don't really see why you would. So that looks quite nice. Little stand units there. So you just sort of put it like that. That looks quite a handsome piece. Right, we'll just put that to one side and get the rest out. So we have this thing here, which looks like a remote control. Yep, power button, menu button I assume, reset button or back button, brightness options, and a little D-pad there. There's presumably going to be batteries in here somewhere. So of course they give you a little remote control to make it well, to make you really lazy. And, oh yeah, there's the controls. There's the battery compartment there. You've got this little pull tab there. Presumably means there must be a battery inside. Yeah, but this thing basically just encourages you to be a bit lazy by just sitting on your fat arse or lying back on your sofa and just using this instead of getting up and actually changing the functions. But all said and done, that does feel like it does its job quite well. So this must be the power cable. Yeah, power cable. Little spokes there, so there must be some sort of different adapters. So that's your European version. And that's the UK version, which I need. Right, so... Oop, springy. There we go, that's nice and secure. Of course, that's just a plastic bit here, but probably not really necessary in this case. If you don't know what that bit is on the British plugs, Google is your friend. Go look it up. And of course, that's a spare if I ever decide to immigrate over to the to Europe, or you know, mainland Europe, because technically Britain is part of Europe, even though we're an island. We're part of the EU, although not many of us really want to be. Right, we'll put the box to one side, and we'll plug this in like so. That might be a little bit of a problem. Yeah, if you have it flat like that, which is the way you're supposed to, that kind of gets. I suppose it's not much of an issue if you had it on the other versions that comes out this way, if you know what I mean. I can't think of the proper term. Then that would probably just get in the way. So this actually makes some sense. That's got to be a speaker, and this just allows me to wonder where I can get one of my memory cards, because I don't seem to have one out at the moment. Well, I'm going to plug this in, so I might have a little jump cut as I go looking for a card. Okay, so I found a card, but I'm not going to put it in just yet. I've just pulled the little battery thing out of the controller. I'm just going to have a little play with this. It's not a touch screen, which is actually a good idea really, because I hate touch screens in that they just end up gathering dirt. I've got a calendar. It knows what the date is. Not. It's actually, today's date is actually the... What are you doing? What are you doing? How do I set this? Ah, there we go. No, that's not setting it. How are you supposed to set this? I can't get out of that. Right, doesn't seem to be an obvious way to change the actual date. But yeah, that's the point. It just seems to select different months. So it's going forward into next year, and when I try pressing anything here, nothing happens. Well, I'll tell you what, let's press the off button. Yeah, that works, and let's see if the Who sensor works. No, the Who sensor doesn't work. And neither does the on button. This could be interesting. Ah, there we go. Right, so this button here allows you to connect to the USB. That's our play and pause button in the middle. That's our back button, which doesn't seem to be doing anything straight off. There we go. I wonder if you have to go into settings to change the... No, nothing there for dates. It's a bit odd. But you've got a calendar here. It's convinced it's Thursday the 31st of December 2015. It isn't, it's actually Monday the 28th as I record this, but I don't seem to have any option to change the date. I may actually have to read the instruction manual in this case, but right now I'm just looking at how to get pictures and everything. Doesn't seem to like my memories card. Maybe the other way? Does that work? New storage is ready to use. Aha. Give it a bit of a deal. Of course, I may have cleared this particular card out as well, so no photo files have been found in this SD card. Oh dear. Well, this is what I get for actually cleaning my cards out. The card I've got in this thing, okay, what I'm recording with, this camera now, will have files on, but this one unfortunately doesn't. I'm going to have to borrow something from the computer, which happens to be right next to everything I'm doing right now. Oh well. That's going to be a junker for certain here. Right, so, memory card back in. A little odd that you have to put it in upside down, but there you go. Right, so, we have 22 images to look at. Now these are all taken from late on this summer when I went to Berwick-upon-Tweed, and it's just basically me taking little panoramics, so it's me going literally in the centre of the courtyard of the barracks and just taking photos every now and then. I've done a little animation with this. I got incredibly lucky. There was literally nobody else there. I was the only person in the courtyard. So I thought, ooh, I know what I'll do. I'll just go to the centre of the courtyard and I'll just take a photo every other inch, every other inch of building that I can see, and just sort of put everything together later on. And I've done a little animation, and I think it looks quite nice for a complete first attempt at this. I'm not sure if there's actually a proper term for it, but it's not your traditional panoramic where it's just a wide angle. This is literally a full 3D spin. There'll be a term for it, but yeah. Well, there you go. That looks incredibly dull, and it doesn't allow a particularly fast spin. And you'll notice how I also did everything in landscape. I just thought I'd get more detail that way. So it looks a lot better when you see the proper animation, which I might put up at some point, I might not. Almost finished, and as you can see, unfortunately there were 2 people that showed up just about here at the very last second, and they're in the next photo as well. The very first photo, which is the same area, basically doesn't have them in. Oh well, can't have everything, but I'm quite impressed with that. That is working quite nicely. Now it says you can do movies, so I'm going to look for something to borrow from somewhere else. So pull this out, is it going to cause any problem? No, so far so good. Right, now I've grabbed one of my videos that I've been working on, which I've actually uploaded quite recently, and it has found the video. Thing is, I can't remember if I recorded it at 1020 or not, and it'll be an interesting trick to see if it actually works. Control doesn't always seem to want to work, the remote seems to be a bit fiddly. Oh, here we go. Right, so it has exceeded the 720, and it is actually giving you a warning about that, but that's alright, we can tolerate that. So yeah, that's my Hitler's Christmas video. Can't monetize it, and as of this point in time I don't monetize any videos anyhow, but that's copyright material, so that's understandable, to be brutally frank. Alright, that has actually worked quite well, and looking through the viewfinder it looks okay, and looking at that, given it's 1020 on a device that's only supposed to show 720, you can see that doesn't work as well as it would on a proper screen. I'll just try lifting that up for you so you can see some of the imagery. Try to keep the light out of the way. It works, and given it's a small screen, it works alright. It's nothing particularly spectacular, and the audio isn't particularly anything to write home about, but then you've got one tiny little speaker at the back, so, giving it its dues, it does what it's supposed to. Well, I'm quite impressed with it. It seems to be okay. So I'll leave it at that. I think that is actually quite decent. Quite a nice little thing.